topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Mary is got a really interesting career, which is why I invited her to the show. She had a long career with Johnson & Johnson, and which we all know, the big pharmaceutical company, and she had a big job there driving corporate strategy. And after that, she did some movie sets as well. And then she got deeply rooted into the community. One of the things that she did, which I always was sort of envious on, was she worked on a presidential campaign. We won't go into the details of that, but she worked on a presidential campaign. And then she was able to get her work that brought people together, raised money for great causes, and kept fun in the front and the center with live music and big community and energy. And many of these events I participated in. And, you know, as I got to know Mary better, I realized music and these kinds of things were always in her veins since college, when she was actually a college DJ. And now Mary is very instrumental in working for Cape Fear Radio, which has become a huge powerhouse in this local Cape Fear community. And so I'm thrilled to have you, Mary. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great.
Good. Thank you so much for agreeing to doing this.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Well, you know, a couple of things that came to mind when I was thinking about you and thinking about guests. You know, you had this big corporate strategy job. I think you were in New Jersey, right? J&J is in Jersey, isn't it?
Excuse me, based out of New Jersey, yes.
Based out of, but you went all over the world and did all
yes.
sorts of stuff with medical equipment. And then things happened, some out of your control, and you retired. What was that like to retire from such a fast-paced, intense, I've been in those kinds of worlds. What was it like to retire from that?
So I bought all the books about retiring and I never read them because I was so busy working. So I ended up in southeastern North Carolina at 57 with my husband, and I have 2 adult children, and they were not living here. So I got here and I just had no plan whatsoever. So I came into the community. I was used to working 80 hours a week, traveling all over. And here I am in a quiet, sleepy, beautiful coastal town. And so I tried many things. And then I went back to work because I really was bored. I had no plan, which was the problem for my next. And so I went back to work for like 2.5 years for a small Swedish medical company.
Oh,
interesting. And I made sure when I agreed to do it that I picked cities that had live music, because music has always been a part of my life. So I covered Nashville, Memphis, Asheville, and different select cities. And then I would go work all day and then go listen to live music at night. And it was a great mix.
I was just going to say, those cities, none of those cities are bad choices.
No,
they had to be fun. Right. Did you meet any great people out there?
I did. I met a lot of great people through the company. It was a smaller company, so I had to adjust to not having all the structure of a Johnson & Johnson. But I learned a lot, and it was great. And I could go out like to the Ryman and see Sheryl Crow, because at night they might have, single tickets out in all these different cities. I went to Graceland, and of course everything revolves around music. So it was a fun time. Then I retired again and was looking for things to do.
What made you retire from there? Sounded like it was a good gig.
It was a good gig, but everybody else was retired and I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so I was on planes all the time out of a small coastal airport,
Familiar with that airport. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a pain in the butt.
So I thought, well, it's time to retire again and find some things to do. But this time I was more prepared. I had looked around the community. I joined a couple of boards, and I've always been about giving back to the community and raising money. So I did a couple music events. We had a local band here who was brand new, is a really great band. So we did a fundraiser and sold 600 tickets for that. That
Wow.
was great fun. And then we brought in a group from Nashville for a fundraiser for two of our local nonprofits.
Oh,
And
how exciting was that?
that was a lot of fun. It was great. And so then I started thinking more about music, and three of my friends had just started a radio station. They were in the preliminary stages, so they called me and I joined them. There were 6 of us to start. It's called Cape Fear Radio. It's a streaming station here in town, and we're hyper local. So we do sports, news, weather, all types of community events. And so I became very involved with it and learned a lot because I love to learn new things. So I've done all the social media. I ran a capital campaign and really got out in the community. And right now we've grown to over 60 volunteers. We're all volunteer. And we set ourselves up as a nonprofit. And so we return money back to the community. And it's been a great learning experience and a ton of fun.
Well, and I have to say, Mary, I known you for quite a while, and
Yes.
I knew when this started out, and it was, like you said, 3 people. And now it's hard to go anywhere in this Cape Fear region, which, by the way, for listeners, is a relatively big region. And everybody knows about Cape Fear Radio. Everybody knows about it. And it's got such a diverse kind of canopy of things that it offers in terms of music and news and local sports and all that stuff. I think it's quite an accomplishment. Quite an accomplishment. What did you learn from it? What do you love about it?
Well, what I love is getting out in the community and interviewing people. So I've interviewed about 45 local community leaders and bands, and I love to go to live band events and, learn from the band as well as interview them and play their music. I do also have 2 shows on the station. I have an independent, alternative, emerging, and local music show on Thursday
Oh,
nights. And
excellent.
we have specialty shows like jazz, different types of things. Reggae, we have rhythm and blues, we have all types of things. But from 7 to 7, we have the sound of the station, which is music that the music team puts together. So I also have a morning show on Friday mornings that I do. That's a sound of the station show.
Wow. And what is the sound of the station show? Say more
It's
about
like
that. I don't know
different music that's picked up by the music team. So when I do my own show, I can put whatever types of music I want into it.
Oh,
And when we have a sound of the station show, most of the music is picked by a large music team that we have. So it appeals
cool.
to everybody.
Oh, cool. Hey,
It's a
do you
little
have
bit
any
different.
Do you have any K-pop on there?
No, we don't. But the funniest thing is that, they're all different types of bands
Yeah.
that are joining us, music
Yeah.
segments. But we also do news, weather, and sports, and it's all hyper local. And we
Yeah.
have great people doing that. And that's a new addition to the station. So that is a lot of fun. And we've given money back to the community, to different organizations. We're putting together a team to decide how that money is dispersed and which organizations we choose as a radio station.
I
So I'm
love
learning a
that.
lot there.
I love that. Well, so I have to just tell this quick story. I knew Mary was doing some TV shots and backups on movies, and I was like, oh, that's intriguing. I have to find out about that. But I went to a St. Patrick's Day party up in Wilmington, and here's Mary with all her equipment, interviewing people, kind of emceeing the thing. I'm going, wow, this is really cool. So how cool was that? You do that a lot now. You led our parade we have big parades in Southport.
So I
How
love
is that?
parades. I have to say I love parades.
And you looked great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. And so we've been for 6 years on this Wilmington St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee up in Wilmington. And there's a small group of us that run that. And it's one of the top parades in the country for small communities.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been quite the learning experience. It's a lot of fun. We have something called a hoolie, which is typically halfway between St. Patrick's Day. And that's what you were at the
That's what
hoolie.
I went. I loved
Yes.
it. I loved the hoolie. I got right
So
into it.
we get about 12 to 1500 people there, and we bring in Irish bands and Irish music. And it's a great event as long as the weather's good. No, it is.
Yeah.
We've had good luck with the weather, and we have food trucks, and that raises money for the parade, to pay for the parade.
Nice.
So it's right around the corner. Come
Yeah,
join us
yes, it is
anytime.
right around the corner. I'll have to make sure it's on my calendar because I had such a good time. And I think St. Patrick was related to you. I think there was a big, tall St. Patrick there.
Well, St. Patrick did get sick that day, so we had to get a sub. And so my husband, Tom, was St. Patrick
I was
for
going to
1
say,
year. For 1 year.
for
It's a
1
lot of
year, I'm like,
responsibility.
you look like Tom Galligan to me, not St. Patrick. was fun. So Mary, what has been the biggest learning experience out of all of this for you?
I think the biggest learning experience for me is the technology and how we have 2 studios now. We just opened a second studio that we ran the capital campaign for. And the thing I'm learning the most is live in the studio is a lot different than doing it in your home studio with the equipment that we have. So I've learned all
Interesting.
I've learned all the technology, and this is going to sound really funny, but when we started out and I did interviews, I was doing them off my iPhone with an MP3 recorder. And now we have all types of equipment, and we have 2 studios to do interviews in. So that's been super helpful. And the other big learning has been the social media. So I didn't know much about social media, but I've learned a lot. So I have tools like Canva. I do all the scheduling. I go to the live events, take a lot of the pictures, and post up about the interviews and different things happening around the station, because we really want to get our exposure out there, and we have a great website as well. So learning the technology and learning the social media and the graphic design behind it has been a lot of fun as well.
Wow, that's really terrific. I mean, that's something that I could perhaps learn, but I worked for a technology company and they did all that stuff for me. So I'm a Luddite. I'm a Luddite. I just use it. I don't know how to do anything with it. So there we go. So if you were going to think about what made you a success in all of this, because I would say by all accounts, you're well known in the area. You're sought out. The stuff that you're doing is such a value add. What would you say contributed to your personal success?
I would think finding your passion. And I think it did take me a while. I tried the background movie thing. I tried a couple different charitable organizations, but nothing had music. And then when my friend started the radio station, it was such a perfect fit. So I think you need to find your passion, and a watch out is don't get over involved, because it'll take over your life.
It'll take over your life. So how do you keep it from taking over your life?
I'm working on that.
Oh, that's your current
No,
challenge?
it's great fun. Now that we're in the second year and going into, we're into 18 months, we know a lot of the events and we know what's required. And we have such a larger team now that we're able to do that. So I'm able to, look around and have great people on the radio station. I've met so many wonderful people, and we all work together, and we're planning. Actually, today we have a strategy planning meeting from 10 to 5 for next year, which I think
Oh,
will be a
wow.
lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that will be a lot of fun. And so like you look around at the people that are working with you and you kind of assign people to different things that are going on?
Well, we have people come to us with specific interests, like our sportscaster, our weatherman, our events people. They're interested in doing those things. And then we also have 23 people that are on air, and they're interested in specific types of music. So it's kind of, they select what they want to do, and we find a spot for that.
For anybody who's watching this, forgive me. I'm still trying to get my camera set up right. We're early days into my next, at any rate. So, Mary, if you were to give any advice to someone who's, particularly I look at some people and I say, they're in their 50s, they're working in a job, it's a great job, they make good money, but it's not tapping into their passion. But it's not easy for them to walk away from those jobs yet. What advice do you have for people that are in that kind of a niche? Because as you said, when you retired from J&J, you were 57. I mean, in the
I
big
was.
picture of life, that's relatively young
I
to
didn't
walk
realize
away from.
that at the time, but it is as
Yeah,
time
well,
goes
it
by.
is as time goes by. I mean, that's relatively young to walk away from a what I would characterize as a very probably lucrative corporate job. So, what advice was it scary? Were you afraid?
I was, and the second time I was not because I was ready. So I was more deliberate. I looked at different things that I liked, that I wanted to do, and then I looked way in the past to what gave me passion in the past. And when I was in college, the first thing I did was become a DJ on their radio station. And that was one of my great memories. So it all
Mm.
fit together because it fits with music, fits with community, giving back to nonprofits, and then a passion for music throughout my life. So I would look for something that fits your passion of what you want to do, and then go out and not be afraid to go out in the community and find places to contribute.
Well, that's great. How hard was it to find places to contribute?
It's not hard. It's hard in the very beginning to start because you're in a new city and town and people don't really know you that well and you don't
Hmm.
know folks. So there are a lot of volunteer opportunities that you can do. So if you look around your community and see what types of volunteers and just talk to all types and all kinds of people,
Hmm.
because there's so many people out there that need and want help, and they'll want the skills for sure. And
Hmm.
everybody has great skills in some part of their life. So I wouldn't be afraid to go out and test the waters, test a few things and see what you really like.
Yeah, because I do think, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, I probably did, but we're going to live a lot longer and we're going to be a lot healthier. And,
Right.
thinking about really that passion and what you can give back in this, I don't want to say last chapter, but this chapter,
Next chapter.
next chapter can be daunting. And many people, I think, don't realize what still innate skills that they have that they can bring to the table and offer to others and bring joy in life. And to your point, which I said in the intro, the resiliency.
Yes. And if you try something and it happens to fail or you don't like it, just move on to the next, right? To the next thing and try that.
Yeah,
And I
which,
tried a few things. The background acting was very tiring because you had to get up at 4 in the morning. You might not get back till like 2 in the morning. And I always thought, wow, I'm going to be on TV. But rarely are you because background is background.
background, right, right. And do you get a chance to meet any of the talent when you were in those background things?
I was Jessica Chastain's doctor at one point.
Oh, you were who? You were what?
Jessica Chastain's doctor, one of her doctors in a scene.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
but when you see the final movie, there's a lot of cuts from people moving around and different things. But it was a fun learning experience. I did about 8 of them and it was fun. But I did that early on when I was 57 to 59, maybe.
Oh, such a babe. Such a
Such a babe.
babe.
And it was hard then because it's a lot of hours and a lot of sitting and standing around. But it
Yeah.
was fun. I did learn a lot, so I liked it.
Yeah. And I remember when you did that, I was thinking about it until you started telling me about the hours. And I was like, I don't think that's good. I think I'll stay in coaching. That's a little bit
It's
more
an
fun.
hour away at 4 in the morning. It's a lot.
Right. It's a lot up there. So what's your next after this, or haven't you thought about it?
Oh, I'm always thinking about it. So my next is, well, I love the radio, so I want to continue doing the radio. I came down here, and this is going to sound a little funny. I love to fish, so I came down with a fly fishing rod, and I have yet to open it down here
Wow.
and take it out.
That's
So I'm
funny.
going to have small necks in addition to the radio station, but
Uh-huh.
things that I thought I would do that I haven't had the time to do, like that.
Nice.
Maybe I'll keep working at golf, but I'm not sure it's my thing.
Yeah, I try to keep working at golf too. I think that's what turned me into the next thing because I'm like, this ain't working out too good. I mean, it's okay, but I'll never be, the pro am or whatever. So, but yeah, I remember you used to like to fish. That's fun. You got to get that rod out.
I will. So I think though people have to be deliberate in planning, which is what I did not do the first time. So
Yeah.
I was far more successful in finding new things and making a plan. So I guess make a plan.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was just going to ask you. If you had advice, it sounds to me, one, do something that you're passionate about, and two, make sure you have a plan. And the third thing that comes out is keep working at it because it's not going to necessarily jump in your lap the first time out of the box.
Right. Or maybe the first couple of times. So yeah,
Yeah,
keep looking at it and find something you really love.
you really love. Yeah, that's very important. Well, Mary, how can people get a hold of you because you've got a great story?
Oh, you can get a hold of me at maryg@capefearradio.com. That's my email for the radio station.
Yeah, and what are you looking for? What could they, aside from hearing your great story and getting you on some of their shows?
I'll know more about that after our strategy session today.
Well, that'll be very good because that'll be very interesting. And I think you'd be a wonderful speaker at places for people who are thinking about what's next for them. And because let's face it, there's a lot of fear in leaving a big corporate job and jumping into more stuff.
Definitely is. And I would say plan for it.
Yeah.
Don't show up the first day in retirement like I did and go, ah.
Oh, and then my paycheck is over in the next couple of months.
Right. True.
After I get my severance, now what do I do? Right. That I had the same experience. It was kind of scary. Well, Mary, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. I sure enjoyed having you on. And my final question for you, is there anything I didn't ask you that I should have asked you that you would love to share with the audience?
Have fun. That would be my ending message. Whatever you do, have fun with it. Because
Great
fun is
message.
important at this point of our lives.
Totally. Keep having fun, hopefully.
Keep
Well,
having fun.
Thanks again, Mary, and we'll talk to you soon. And I know I'll run into you in the Cape Fear area
Thank
soon.
you for having me on, Linda.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Rebel, are you there?